Right now, we are at our site. This is the end of Berry Way, which is, in Mill Valley, and it's kind of beautiful actually. There's a lot of trees around, and we're kind of in a valley. There's a ledge, and then there's a river below the ledge, and then each side is just sloping up like this. See, there's lots of ferns.
And birds and slugs.
Yeah, there's lots of slug. It's very green, and there are a lot of redwood trees. There's some water. It's a creek, but a lot of it's dried up because of the drought that's going on in California. And that's kind of sad, but I think there's enough to support an ecosystem.
Yeah, there's a pretty steady trickle, but it just kind of ends kind of that way a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's pretty steady coming down this way. The climate in our study area is pretty average. There aren't many differences between it and the climate in other parts of Mill Valley.
On the occasions we visited it, it was very warm and sunny.
Yet, it is slightly cooler than other places because the trees block out light from the sun.
The wind is fairly strong, despite the fact that some of it is blocked by the numerous tall redwood trees. If you want to get to our site from Tam High, what you want to first do is drive down Camino Alto and go from there onto East Blythedale. Then you drive past Boyle Park, onto Buena Vista, and from there you drive past the golf course and onto Berry Way. And at the end of Berry Way, you find our site.
In our site there is 30% trees, 30% bare ground, 20% bushes, 8% water, 2% man-made structures, and 10% grasses. This chart shows the relationship between the abiotic and biotic features of our study area. Our study area is abundant with life, and we know that this area is regularly inhabited and used by wild animals because we see the great amount of banana slugs and other bugs, and birds, and we have come across some dried scat that we believe belongs to a coyote. There are also many leaves on the ferns and lower plants that appear to be eaten, telling us that there are animals here. After research, we discovered that there are coyotes and deer, among other larger animals that inhabit this area.
The soil in our study area is very loose and slightly muddy, especially closer to the creek. This soil type attracts many insects, banana slugs in particular. They are attracted to this area because it is very moist and cool, which stops them from drying out. The water in our study area is a creek. We noticed that there were a lot of different types of plants growing near the creek's borders. This is because it provides fresh, clean water. It also provides a place for animals to get a drink of water and a home for the Garridae, water bugs, that live in our study area. It also makes the soil moist. Our area slopes upwards on either side of the creek. This creates a sort of shaded, very cool valley because each hillside is topped with towering redwood trees. The climate in our area is mild. This creates a place where these animals and plants can live for their entire lives, without having to move or without dying out. The banana slug is in a gray area between aquatic and terrestrial organisms. In order to live on land, it has solved the problem of drying out by, in effect, carrying its aquatic environment along with it in the form of slime. The slug's slime keeps its skin from drying out. The banana slug doesn't have gills, but instead uses a fleshy compartment called a mantle to act as a primitive lung. There's a pore on the right side of the mantle through which the air circulates. This hole is called the nomostone, the slug's nose. The banana slug has adapted to blend into its surroundings by looking like a fallen leaf from far away. When we were looking for banana slugs, they were hard to find because our eyes skimmed right over them. This adaptation protects them from predators.
Our study area was an area similar to the redwood forests that are commonly found in this area, and we chose it to learn more about that ecosystem. We can improve our site choice by choosing an area that is a little bit more easily accessible. We collected data by measuring and using math formulas to come up with the information we needed. We also used a thermometer and other tools similar to that. We can tell that the abiotic and biotic factors are related because of the data we collected. For example, we discovered that the temperature was much lower in our study area compared to the temperature in the street less than 50 yards away. This was because of the tall redwood trees that provided shade and cover from the wind. The biotic feature, the trees, is influencing the abiotic feature, the wind.
There are many human impacts visible near and in our study site. First off, we discovered an abandoned bathtub near the edge of our site. Just outside our study area, there is a street and houses. In order for these houses and the street to be built, redwood trees and other plants were cut down and animals were displaced. To lessen the human impact on this area, we have to make sure that no more houses or streets are built in this area, therefore saving the redwood forest and this ecosystem.